Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to integrate Sequelize ORM inside NESTJS with Postgres database. So let's get started. So Sequelize is a type ORM which helps us to communicate with our database. So first let's create a Next.js application. So I will just use this particular command. I will go to my workspace directory. I'm already inside my workspace directory and I'll just name the app as my app. You can name it whatever you feel like, it's up to you. Let's just wait for this to finish. I will select npm. Now it depends on you how you want your Postgres instance to be. You can download the Postgres database app locally and connect to it from Nest.js. I think the easiest way, according to me, is to use NeonDB. Now this is not a sponsored video. The reason I'm using NeonDB, or maybe you can use CockroachDB as well, is because they don't require credit card or debit card, at least at the time of me recording this video. So you can easily create a free tier instance and get started with it. So you don't have to manage Postgres database locally, so that you don't have to worry about your RAM even if your PC is low end. So yeah, that's my suggestion, but it's up to you how you want your Postgres database to be. Then I can just cd to my app. Okay, I'll clear everything out. This is just a cheat sheet which I have created. So what I'll do is I'll just open my app inside VS Code. I'll just keep this cheat sheet with me as well. Next, what I will do is I'll just create two modules, users and reports. So users will have sign up and login, and reports where we will create a report and get a report as well. Like, I'm not making this tutorial too complicated, so the reports will not have a user ID foreign key. So yeah, just a heads up. If you want, you can do that as well. So first we will run this command. It will create the users module for us. So I will just run this command over here. Then we have to run the same command but for reports as well. So let's just wait for this to finish. So this is done. Then I'll run the same command for reports. Then I have to run this command for users as well to create a controller. Okay, then I have to create a controller for reports as well. Then we have to create a service for users. Then we have to create a service for reports. Then we have to install few dependencies. So I'm installing Sequelize TypeScript, pg-htstore, and NestJS JWT. Now I think from currently I'm using Sequelize version 6. At the time of me recording this video, Sequelize version 7 is alpha. I think from version 7 we don't need this dependency. Sequelize has their own Postgres dependency, I guess. I could be wrong. But yeah, at least for version 6 we have to use it like this way, and version 6 is the stable one while me recording this video. So I'll just use it like this. I'll install all the dependency. We also need to have dev dependencies like types Sequelize and types pg. So I will just copy these two commands as well and paste it over here. Once that is done, okay, then we'll have to go to src users module.ts. Now I have created one practice project as well, from which I will be copying some code, but don't worry, I'll explain it to you as we go along. So first let's open user.module.ts, and here firstly we'll have to register our JWT as well as our database module. So okay, I think this is okay. I'll just copy this and then I'll explain to you. So go to users module, and here we just have to add this import section. Okay, and paste it over here. So we can import JWT module from JWT, NestJS JWT. Also we require this providers as well, users providers. So we need to create these two files first. So after user service, I'll add a comma and I'll paste this thing. So we require the database module as well as the user provider. So for database module, we just have to create a file called database module.ts inside src. So inside src, create a file called database module.ts, and I will open it inside VS Code. So I will just copy this and I will paste it over here. Now it requires the database providers class, so we have to create that database provider. So again, go to src database providers .ts database.providers.ts. So I named it wrong, so here you can name it like database.providers.ts. Okay, then here is the file again from my practice project. I'll just copy it and I'll explain it to you. Okay, I'll paste it over here. So here you can see that we are importing Sequelize. We require PG, we import user as well as report. Now we need to create these two entities, which we will create shortly. Here the provider is of Sequelize. Here we create our Sequelize. Now this should be your Postgres URL, so you change it to your own Postgres URL. Dialect mode is PG, logging is false, and here we add our module. Now I have set this as false. Like I have I have commented this out because I don't want to create a table from Sequelize. I will just create a table using the create table SQL query. That's why I have commented this out. This sync method will basically create a table automatically if the table is not present. That's why I don't want this, and here I am just returning Sequelize. Okay, so let's see if all errors are gone. I think this error should go away. Yeah, should I write TS as well? I don't know. I think this seems more like a VS Code error. Database.providers. Okay, now it is gone. So this error is gone. Next, go to user module. Here I can just import database module. Okay, and I can also import user providers. Okay, user provider needs to be done. But before we do user provider, we require this user entity users.entity.ts. So inside the users folder I will create users.entity.ts, and the next file which I want to create is reports.entity.ts. so inside the reports folder I will create reports.entity.ts, sorry, entity.ts. Okay, so again I'll just go to the user section, user.entity.ts. okay, I will just copy this and then I'll explain it to you. So here basically we are importing all these things from Sequelize TypeScript. Then here we are creating one class which extends the model, and here we are annotating this with table, and the ID is a primary key. It should auto increment, and it is a column as well, and email and password are just columns. So pretty simple. Okay, then we have to go to reports.entity.ts. So I'll just go to reports. I will just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Then here, as you can see, this is our ID of type number, so I'm passing the primary key auto increment as well as column, and here is our name of column as well, and here is our table. So yeah, that's what it is for report.entity.ts. So here again I think I don't know why this is throwing an error. So yeah, this is more or like VS Code not playing nicely. Okay, so now these errors are gone. Okay, so next is so we have done user.module.ts. Let's do reports.module.ts. We'll come back to this file later on. User provider. So so just open reports.module.ts, and here again I'll just open this file, and here I just have to import database modules inside reports.module.ts. okay, and I also need to add this reports providers as well. So I'll just copy this and I'll come over here, add a comma and paste it over here. Now I will just import reports module, sorry, database module, because we already have it. I will import reports provider later on. So I have done with user entity, report entity, database provider, database module. Then is users providers.ts. So just create this particular file. Okay, and we also need to create a reports.provider.ts. okay, over here as well. So if I just open this reports.provider.ts, I'll just copy this and paste it over here. So it's pretty simple. You just have to give the provider name. Now if you want, you can create a constant as well if you want, because this name is very important, which we will be using it inside our service as well, and it just refers the report entity which we have. Similarly for user.provider.ts as well, I'll just go to users.provider.ts, and I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now again, this is the name and this is the model name. Again, if you want, you can create a constant for this, because we will be using this name in service class as well. Now if I just come over here, I can just import this. Okay, so I have imported this error is gone, and same thing for user.module.ts as well. So both of this are created. Next we have to go to users.service.ts over here. So I will just open this particular file. I'll copy all the code and then I'll show it to you. So here firstly these are all the imports. Then here we are just promisifying this script. Here is our user service, and inside the constructor we are injecting user repository of type user and JWT service as well. Now this name should be the same what you have defined it inside user provider. Here is a create method which takes an email and password, and we just call user repository dot create. It will automatically save as well and just return back the user. Here is find by email as well, and here we just do find one, which I'm using as a helper method. Then here is the sign up method. So here you can see we just first check whether we have this particular user by its email ID or not. If yes, then return a bad request exception for sign up. If no, then firstly we have to create a salt, then create a hash out of it, and then we just attach both of them, and then we pass the actually we are converting the password to an hash, right? So we just create the user by passing the email as well as the hash inside our database that would be saved, and then we generate a token out of it. So for the token, it will contain the user ID as well as the user email. It depends on you what you want to pass inside your token. And once we do have that token, we just return back the token. Similarly for sign in, we check whether an existing user is present or not. If no, then return an exception. Else we just get to salt and stored hash, and here is our hash. And if the hash does not matches, then we just throw a bad request exception. That means the password is incorrect. Otherwise we generate a token and return the token back. Okay, then we have to go to reports.service.ts, and here we go to reports. Here I'll go to reports.service.ts, and again I'll just do the copy this and paste it over here. Okay, now again we are injecting our report repository. Then again the name should be the same what you have defined it inside report provider. Then here I have created a method called create, which takes the report name, and we just create a report, and here I'm just returning all the report back to the user. Okay, next we have to create our controllers. So let's just go to our controllers. So here is one controller, here is another controller. So first I'll go to reports controller. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So here you can see we have not created this auth guard, which I will create shortly. Basically this auth guard will check whether we have the proper token or not, because whenever we are trying to access the reports API, we require a token. So here you can see I have created a controller of reports, and here I have created a method called create. So here we annotate with @useguards, that's why it requires token. And here once we have the request, we check whether it is a proper current user or not, which I will show you how we are getting this current user. It is inside the auth guard code, and if it is, then we just create the report. If not, we throw an unauthorized exception. Similarly for getting as well, I'm just getting request.current user. If we have it, then get all the reports, otherwise throw an exception. Okay, then for users controller as well, here is our users.controller.ts. again I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So again the same thing, here is our users of user service, we are injecting it. Here is our sign up method, and we just do user service dot sign up, passing our email as well as our password. And here is our sign in method, we again pass email and password, and we just call the sign in method. Okay, so next we just have to define this guards folder inside src, and here we just define auth.guard.ts. Okay, here is our guards folder or .guard.ts, and I'll just copy this code and paste it over here. Okay, now just go to reports control. Again, this is feels like more like an VS Code issue. So yeah, here you can see the issue is gone. Now if I come to auth.guard.ts, it is a class. It takes JWT service, and here I have overriding the scan activate. So once we get a token from whatever request we are passing, we just verify that token using this JWT service.verify, and then we just assign it to our current user, and then return this current user back. So that's what current user we were using over here. So with the help of this current user, if you remember, we were passing the ID as well as the email inside JWT. You can get that from this current user as well if you want to. So yeah, I think that should be it. Then we can now run our application. Okay, so I have so what first you need to do is, before we start our server, is you make sure you run this particular command inside your SQL editor to create this particular table for Postgres database, and also you will have to run this particular command to create the reports table as well. Once both of these are created, we can just start our server by running npm run start :dev. Now this will start the server for us. Now you can just go to Postman, and here I will just change this email ID. Okay, and this is the sign up method. So if I just click on send, let's just, so here you can see it has generated the token for me. So I can just copy this token if I want to, and same I can do for sign in as well. I will enter the same email ID. I'll click on send, and here you can see this is our token. Then this is for creating the report. So go to headers. Firstly you will have to enter your token over here. Go to body, here is our report name. I will just make it as report 1, and I'll click on send. So here you can see this is report has been created, and if I try to do get as well, again I'll have to change the token. Let me change that. I'll click on send again, and here you can see this is our report. If I want, I can create one more report. Click on send, and if I come over here, click on send, here you can see this is our report. So hopefully you got the point. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.